E malama ka kou I ka wai mai uka a ke kai. It existed long before human footsteps marked the soil, long before the land was put to the use of man. This cycle of renewal of life, beginning with the rain, tiny droplets of water joining together to become a trickle, building on one another to become a flow, soaking into the earth to nourish, flowing over the ground to hold life. Along the way, gathering the strength and the patience to shape the land, creating fertile valleys that would become home to the Oiwi, the Kanaka Maoli, and the many more who would follow. Water. It is one of the primal elements. Life could not exist without it. We are bound to it. Here in these islands, in scenes like those played out on countless shores and banks across the globe, we are bound to it. We travel across it to these islands. We are drawn to settle beside it. We draw nourishment from it. We cajole it into serving our purposes. It is part of us, but we do not own it. We are only caretakers. For the ones who came first to the Ahupua of Waikiki, the waters truly meant life. In addition to bountiful supplies of drinking water, food could be gathered from the streams. Lo'i covered valley floors along with plantings of sweet potato, sugar, and other crops. Later, settlers brought different tools, skills, knowledge, and technology. The rich valley soil and the clean water had supported significant native settlements. And after the arrival of the Haole, they continued as population centers. Changes come as quickly as leaves and currents. Settlements become villages. Paths become roads. Villages become towns, roads, streets. Particularly in a section of the Waikiki Ahupua, bordered by the slopes of Punch Bowl on the northern end and marked by Wilhelmina Rise to the south, the two large valleys, Manoa and Palolo, became heavily populated. The lifestyle changes and housing and business demands brought on by time and progress meant fewer were tied to the natural waterways for either survival or livelihood. Despite those changes, the waters of Kanaha, Manoa, Waiomau, and Pukeli streams continued their flow towards the sea, commingling and slowing in the flatland of Waikiki. Though a natural occurrence, the marshy conditions were certainly not appreciated by all. In 1906, a Territorial Board of Health report called the area a swamp, a breeding ground for mosquitoes and a threat to public health. Plans to divert stream water and reduce flooding began in earnest in 1913, and in 1918 a princely sum of 100,000 was designated for the dredging of a drainage canal. Actual construction took place between the years of 1921 and 1928. Built solely for drainage purposes, after completion, the canal became something of a gathering place. Fishing its waters, swimming, and other recreational uses made the Ala Wai Canal an amenity, adding value to the area. Unfortunately, within a decade after completion, the waterway developed serious problems. The size of the canal and the flatness of the land resulted in a very low water movement. The stagnant water provided a perfect medium for bacteria to grow. Growing demand for housing, the buildup of the watershed upslope placed greater stresses on the streams and ultimately the canal. Increased trash and waste added to the growing problems in the canal. The addition of vehicular traffic brought new pollutants in the form of exhaust, fuels, and oil leaks. With community and street development came more need for storm drains, bringing still more materials into the streams and canal. As the decades had passed, the impacts have grown. The Ala Wai Canal watershed is one of the most highly populated regions on the island of Oahu. It bustles with activity ranging from small mom-and-pop stores to large retail. Sadly, now where clean waters once ran, stream banks are littered with the residue of growth. Where once old and young enjoyed the resources and pleasures of the waterways, now warnings of hazards to public health can be found. From the hillsides down to the Ala Wai, change has come. As stark as the contrast of a small, quiet stream opening to bustling Waikiki and the tainted Ala Wai. It existed before human footsteps marked the soil. This primal element so vital to life. Over time, we have weakened our connection to it, and we are diminished. As caretakers, we have done poorly.
And it's just amazing. And as I look out, and I was talking to some people yesterday, I said,
the job, however, is still ours, and we have choices to make. We can disregard what has occurred and further distance ourselves from our land and our waters and our environment. Or we can embrace the challenge of stewardship for our place on the earth.
And how can we get them coordinated to really work together? And we said, well, the way to do that is to let the community lead.
In 7 communities that make up the Ala Wai Canal watershed, residents have taken the lead in an effort to improve and hopefully restore the watershed. In partnership with government and in growing partnership with business, 7 communities differing in history, politics, economics, are finding common ground in commitment to a healthy environment, recognizing that this will not be the futile attempt of one neighborhood, but a coordinated campaign where all parts work for the good of the whole. This volunteer effort is not simply restoring a watershed. It is teaching life lessons about responsibility, stewardship, and understanding and appreciation for our island history and culture. It is building community. This is an opportunity to begin improving the quality of our lives and the lives of those who come after us. We can become real caretakers, willing to work so that we and our children, and in turn they and their own, can freely enjoy the simple yet satisfying pleasures of play, of discovering in a stream, paddling together on the waters of a canal, sitting thoughtfully and listening to the rhythms of the land, sharing time and building memories. We have a chance to again be a part of a cycle of renewal. We can gather together and possess the strength to shape our home, restoring it, making a place where the waters run clean and clear long after the land was put to the use of man. And we are ready. E malamaka ko ikawai mai uka ake kai. Let us all come together to care for the water that flows from the mountain to the sea.